Ladies and gentlemen, the setting was grand, the audience diverse, and the atmosphere dignified as the International United Cultures Forum convened in Russia. On stage, President Vladimir Putin stepped forward to address cultural leaders, artists, and intellectuals from across the world. His opening words carried both formality and warmth. Ladies and gentlemen, President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. Thank you, distinguished forum participants, ladies and gentlemen, and friends. From the very beginning, the President emphasized the spirit of openness and unity that he believes culture can foster. I'm glad to address you to the International United Cultures Forum. It is our sincere pleasure to once again welcome to Russia the workers of art and enlightenment from different countries of the world. He reminded the gathering of the purpose behind this forum, to provide a space where dialogue is free of stereotypes and bias, and where culture becomes a bridge rather than a barrier. I'm confident that your professional dialogue, which is free of stereotypes and any bias, will contribute to enhancing cooperation and collaboration among states and peoples, and will translate the motive of today's forum into bright and relevant joint projects. The forum this year was hosted in the Catherine Palace of Tsarskoye Selo, a site known worldwide for its elegance and history. Putin pointed to the symbolism of such a location. The splendor of the Catherine Palace and its park ensembles is born from a harmony of different cultural traditions. It manifests the ability of nations to unite in order to create something beautiful and eternal. It is a reflection of a uniting and creative power of culture. In his view, the venue itself embodied the essence of the forum, a reminder that blending traditions leads to something enduring. Putin explained that this is the true spirit of culture, a force that unites and elevates rather than divides. As he continued, the president reflected on the deep role of cultural diversity. They are brighter, the more intense and unique the diversity. They are richer, our shared cultural heritage. They are more stable and successful, the future of our planet. Putin stressed that Russia knows from experience that culture cannot exist in isolation. We in Russia know for sure national culture can only develop and enrich itself through interaction with other cultures. From day one, our country has established itself as a multinational country. This priceless gift has determined its unique cultural palette and its status as a power which is great in its arts, science, and literature. But he also offered a warning. Isolation, he said, leads only to stagnation. History proves that cultures reach their zenith when they actively interacted with the outside world. And the contrary is true when society isolates itself and blindly, dogmatically believes in its exceptionalism and superiority over others. It reaches a period of spiritual and intellectual crisis, followed by a decay of culture. The lesson, according to Putin, is clear. True progress comes from balancing the preservation of national values with openness to outside influence. Turning to modern challenges, the president acknowledged the growing role of technology and artificial intelligence in shaping today's world. The dialogue of cultures is particularly important today as we see a period of vast development of technologies, including artificial intelligence. They make today's world increasingly interconnected, open up colossal opportunities for creation. However, I believe that original solutions can only be a result of inspiration and genius of a human, a true master and creator. He cautioned that technology, while powerful, must not replace human inspiration or erode moral values. Instead, it should serve as a tool, accelerating communication, but never diminishing the essence of humanity. For Putin, art and creativity remain firmly rooted in people, not machines. The Russian leader then shifted to a theme that is central to his worldview, the family. He argued that families are the true carriers of cultural tradition. Russia's priority is support of families with children and strengthening the importance of family and its values. Our identity and the very national character of our country are deeply enrooted in the family. The family teaches, forms the character, and passes on traditions. It is the main carrier of our culture. For Putin, the transmission of values and heritage across generations is what keeps nations alive. He noted that every classic work of art or literature once began as something controversial or new, only to become the backbone of tradition later on. Culture, in his telling, is a living chain, each generation adding its own outlook to what came before. And the president outlined how Russia is trying to nurture this chain of cultural continuity by investing in its youth. The emergence of new names in literature, cinema, and fine arts is a result of our state policy. In Russia, we have enshrined in our legislation the goal to provide comprehensive support to the young people to promote their right for freedom of all kinds of art and assistance in promoting the display of their talents and professional growth. He described how Russia hosts festivals, competitions, and educational programs designed to find and encourage young talent, even in the smallest towns and villages. The goal, he said, is equal opportunity for all. He also gave credit to private donors and businesses for supporting cultural projects. By the way, I would like to thank business representatives for their participation. In one of the most concrete announcements of his speech, Putin introduced the revival of a cultural exchange project once popular in the Soviet era, Intervision, a music contest designed as a counterpart to Eurovision. We are grateful to those who have supported Russia's initiative to revive the International Intervision music contest. It is a wonderful platform where songs reflected the distinct identity of peoples, the diversity of cultures and traditions. I'm confident that modern Intervision will prove that true art has no borders and its uniting power is immense. He stressed that such cultural events highlight unity rather than division, showing that art can transcend politics and boundaries. Putin also underscored the importance of cultural memory, especially in light of the 85th anniversary of the end of World War II. This year, we celebrate the 80th anniversary of the end of the Great Patriotic War in the World War II. The everlasting gratitude to combat veterans and workers of the home front are an important part of our culture, and up until this day, they manifest themselves in the pieces of art, in paintings, books, films, and memorials. He argued that culture has a role to play in ensuring that societies never forget the tragedies of the past, especially the dangers of extremism, racism, and intolerance. I'm confident the role of culture and international cooperation in counter-Nazism, phobia, racism, and any forms of religious intolerance should only be growing. In closing, Putin returned to his central theme, unity through cultural cooperation. Our goal in today's world is to unite our efforts in order to preserve the identity and diversity of cultures, traditions, and world outlook. To move on while supporting innovation, we should jointly create art which ennobles the mind and nourishes the best qualities of one's soul. He urged the world to stand against prejudice and the erasure of cultural identity. We should prevent the vanishing of minority cultures and promote the principles of justice and equality, making the world free of prejudice, double standards, and attempts to cancel any culture. His final words were both hopeful and pragmatic. We should be open to learn something new to make our contribution to strengthening and development of global cultural space that is to the dignified, peaceful, and prosperous future of our peoples. I would like to wish you all the best fruitful work, and I thank you for your attention. As applause filled the hall, the message was clear. Russia, in Putin's vision, seeks to present itself not only as a political power, but as a cultural guardian, one that values history, family, and human creativity, and one that calls on the world to use culture as a bridge in an age of both great opportunity and great uncertainty.